I think we've got most of our participants in now. So again, thank you for joining us. My name is Doug Morehouse. I'm with Carousel Travel. I see a few familiar names that have been joining us on several of our presentations, and we're glad you're back again to see some more ideas. And as we've said all along, if you haven't been part of these so far, we're just trying to provide some thought and some dreaming for those future opportunities, what you might want to do. Maybe it's this year later, maybe it's next year, planning those future trips. So giving you some ideas to grow from. And we realize everyone is at a different point in their comfort level as far as when you feel like traveling. But I am very encouraged about the vaccinations that are happening, the drop in infections as well. So we're looking very positive, like we're on a very good trend. So it's very hopeful for us. So today we are going to feature Globus Journeys. They are an escorted tour company, an excellent partner of ours. And so today we want to take a little time and preview, share some of their programs, the exciting opportunities that they have. And with us today is Matt Spellner, and Matt is our local representative for Globus Journeys. And so I'm going to turn it over to Matt. So Matt, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us, and I appreciate you taking your time today to share some information with us.
Yeah, Doug, thanks for the warm welcome. It's so great to be here with everybody. And like you said, Doug, there's been some positive developments with the vaccine and the rates dropping here. So we are all looking forward to that day when we can get back out on the open road and cross those bucket list destinations off of our list. So yeah, we're just going to go through. I'm going to talk a little bit about our health and safety protocols. And then really, we're going to spend our time dreaming and looking at some of the itineraries that you personally can have an opportunity to book. So we're really, really excited to share some of those opportunities. We do have worldwide opportunities. So we go all over the world. So if there's not a destination today that's talked about, we're just covering North America. So we're going to talk about the United States and Canada, but certainly reach out to your advisor at Carousel if you would like more information on a European or Australia, New Zealand, Asia tour. But we're going to focus right now on what is open with the US and then some tours in Canada as well once tourism starts opening up and the borders are open. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the video here and get to the good part of the presentation here and share my screen with you. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. Again, I hope you sit back, relax, and just enjoy and dream about what is going to be like when we can get back to traveling once again. So they're going to monitor the chat. If anything comes up, we'll get to those at the end. But with that being said, let's jump right into our presentation here. You see the screen right here. I think this is truly a remarkable picture. And you think, where is this? This is Lake Louise up in beautiful Canada. So if you've always dreamed of seeing this area, Banff and all those sites that Canada has to offer, we're going to talk about some of those opportunities that we present here with Globus. So as Doug mentioned, Globus is an escorted touring company. We've been in business since 1928. Now, Globus is our bread and butter product, our top of the line product. So if you want the most inclusions, the most to do on your vacation, higher end hotels, this is the brand for you. So we do, again, include your sightseeing with this, top-notch transportation via a motor coach no older than 3 years old. So you can relax in comfort. Hotels right in the heart of these cities. So you can walk out steps outside of your hotel door and the world awaits you. All the big tourist attractions, you're going to be right in the heart of all the action. Now, another huge benefit of doing one of these tours with us and having us escort you along on your journey is the opportunity to experience the VIP happy line, we call it. So when you yourself individually go on a vacation, you've got to stand in line at some of the more popular tourist attractions. I don't think anybody's goal of going on vacation is to stand in line. We eliminate the waits for you. So when you go with us, we've got you an exclusive access into these sites. You spend your time on vacation actually doing and experiencing these sites in the destination rather than standing in line. I think we can all agree that is what we go on vacation for, not to stand in line. Now, you also have some free time as well. So some downtime you can spend on your own, Maybe you want to go to a specific restaurant that's not included with your tour, or go shopping. Whatever it is, you have some free time built into your tour as well to do that as well. And then, of course, to really put the cherry on top and enhance your vacation, we have our wonderful tour directors and guides bringing these destinations to life. You can visit, a destination or the national parks, whatever it is, and you can see it and take in the beauty. But when a tour director brings it to life and tells you about the histories and the stories, it really puts it in a different perspective and adds so much to your vacation. Now, also with Globus, we have exclusively our local favorites. And that's really when I talk about the itineraries, when we get into that part of the presentation, this is what I'm going to talk about, the local favorites. So when you go to a destination and you met somebody from the area and said, what should I do while I'm in your city? We include these as part of the tour, special opportunities, local favorites to go and partake in, whether it be a culture or a food experience in the destination. So you really get to experience it from a local's perspective. Some things that if you did it on your own and you arrive to a city, you may not know about it and you may not get to experience it. We take care of that for you. Now, I'm also going to highlight some, not a lot, but some of our itineraries too. So we also offer Cosmos. Now, these are wonderful itineraries as well. The main difference being with Cosmos, this is our budget brand. So if you are looking to save a little money or want a little more free time built into your tour, this would be a great option for you as well. We call it just right sightseeing with Cosmos. So you're going to see the big sights and sounds of each city and destination you're in, but there is more leisure time for you to explore on your own. That's built in. Now, I say with Globus, we would use the equivalent of a downtown Minneapolis hotel for those of you in the Twin Cities. A Cosmos level hotel is going to be more suburban. So take, for example, Bloomington or something like that. So you may have to take transportation to get to some of the sights and sounds in the city that you're in, but all wonderful hotels conveniently located. We call it the 3 C's of Cosmos: clean, comfortable, and convenient. So still a wonderful time. You'll get your nice beauty sleep to recover and be ready to go for your next expedition. But all wonderful, wonderful. And again, most of the transportation via Cosmos and Globus is going to be via a motor coach. So very nice state-of-the-art motor coaches, Wi-Fi, you can relax in your journey, and we never drive more than 2 hours at a time. So you'll always have an opportunity to get out, stretch your legs, take a break, things like that. But Cosmos has some wonderful, wonderful price points. So just wanted to get that out there so you know what we are talking about. Now, if you are interested in traveling with the Globus family of brands, whatever brand it is, we have recently introduced new health requirements for travel with any of our brands, and these are ORs, so you don't have to do all of these. You're not required to do one. You can pick and choose whatever fits your style. So the first option would be to receive both vaccinations, so both doses, at least 14 days prior to travel, or have a negative COVID test done within 72 hours of travel, or if you have had COVID-19 in the last 3 months, you can provide documentation that you have recovered from the virus in the last 90 days. Now, this is, as the screen says, independent of and in addition to any requirement that an individual air carrier or a country's government may impose. So they may have more strict requirements. We don't know those at this time, but as of now, these are the requirements to travel with the Globus family of brands. So if you want more information, certainly reach out to your travel advisor there at Carrousel Travel. And of course, given the time we are in and living through a pandemic, we have taken the notch up on our health and safety protocols, this being number one, to ensure a safe and healthy journey for you is at the top of our list. So just some new procedures we've put in place is disinfecting your luggage prior to boarding it onto the motor coach, disinfecting it when it's offloaded, things like that. Social distancing, we're all familiar with that. So on a motor coach, if it's not possible to social distance, at that point, we would have you wear masks, things like that, but it wouldn't be planned at this time to otherwise require it. But on the motor coach, if you couldn't properly social distance, then it would be We take a lot of the pain points away of travel, so we take care of your luggage. You don't have to stand in line to check in at the hotels. We have that taken care of for you. Those VIP happy lines eliminate the need to stand in long lines and be around big crowds. Our drivers of the motor coach will do in-depth cleanings at the end of each day as well. So if you're wanting more information on any touring safety protocols, again, your Carousel Travel Advisor would be more than happy to answer them. And then if you are wanting to travel now, but say, I want to change if something came up, if you're wondering about that, if you do put a deposit down on a trip, and the time comes to take it and you're just not feeling it, as long as you make a change prior to final payment due date, which your Carousel Travel Advisor would let you know that deadline, as long as you make it prior to final payment, any land or cruise penalties would be waived. So you could change it to 2022, you could change to a different destination, you could even change to one of our different brands. Whatever it is, as long as you make it prior to final payment, no land or cruise penalties. We know that flexibility is key during these times, given how quickly things change, and we have provided this to you with our Peace of Mind travel plan. Now, we're really going to get into the meat of the presentation, the fun stuff here. And again, I said we're going to talk about North America, so mainly USA tours along with some Canada tours as well. But why consider North American tours now? Again, I just talked about some of the pain points we eliminate for you. We take care of everything for you to plan your vacation. I say the hardest part of your vacation is picking which one of the wonderful tours that you would like to go on, because we have so many amazing options right here in our backyard, which leads us into the next point. Many of these destinations for us, I'm guessing most of us are in the Midwest here, we have shorter travel times and we don't have to travel coast to coast, things like that. So we're spending less time in an airport, less time on an airplane. They're quick and convenient. Of course, we haven't been able to see friends and family for quite some time. So it's a wonderful way to get back to traveling and do it with loved ones and make memories with those closest to you. But I think also, I think of myself as a great example. We always have so many destinations that we want to get to that I think sometimes we put USA and Canada on the back burner. We take it for granted and say, you know what, it's always going to be there. I'm going to go to Europe or I'm going to go to Asia first because I want to go there first. Well, now that we have limited options on where we can get to with the border closures and such, what better time than now to go on one of these tours in our backyard and take in the national parks, or maybe go into the canyons of the Southwest, or take that trip to the East Coast that you've always been dreaming about but put off. I'm a perfect example of that one. There's no better time than now to consider a tour with the Globus family of brands than now and experience the beauty of our own backyard for yourself. So I'm now going to take you through some of the wonderful, wonderful tours. This was hard to put together because I have so many favorites that we do, but I've got a few here to talk about through the rest of our time. So again, the national parks, great opportunity to experience them on our tours. This one is called America's National Parks, and it is a 10-day tour from Rapid City to Salt Lake City. So you can see starting there in Rapid City, working your way over to Salt Lake City. You're going to have an opportunity to visit Mount Rushmore, which is on my list to do. And then you see working your way across Wyoming, you're going to get to visit Yellowstone National Park. And the geyser there. You've got an opportunity to go into Jackson, Wyoming, Grand Teton National Park. Wonderful opportunities to kind of introduce yourself to some of the national parks. Now, again, I said I would highlight some of the local favorites. Here on day 7, you have an experience to try a fresh made huckleberry shake. I don't know that a shake sounds delicious today on a winter day, but in the summer, that sounds absolutely delightful. And another experience later that same day, we take you to a Western style restaurant and we take you to a chuck wagon cookout and a Wild West show. So some cool opportunities there. Again, an opportunity to introduce yourself to some of the national parks all through Wyoming and then that western side of South Dakota. I mean, just look at this stunning beauty here. It's remarkable. And I take it for granted all the time too. And I think, oh my gosh, I did not even know what was out there. Next up, one of my personal favorites, and in the Midwest, I think we can all agree we'd rather be in Hawaii right now than where we are. But this is our grand Hawaii vacation. 13 days from Honolulu to Maui, and what a wonderful opportunity to experience 4 islands all in one trip. I've been to Hawaii multiple times, but I've actually only visited Maui, and I would love to do this itinerary. So you're going to fly into Oahu, and you're going to have an opportunity to visit Pearl Harbor. Really, really cool, unique opportunity there. From Oahu, you'll fly over to the big island of Hawaii and get to visit and stay in Kona, and then work your way over to Kauai, and then end your tour on Maui. Wonderful opportunity, and I love this tour because on each island, you actually have one full day at leisure. So you can really plan that day out, and if there's something really special or specific that you would like to experience while in Hawaii, you have an opportunity to do that on your own on one of those days of leisure. Now, some of the local favorites that we include as part of this tour would be sampling famous Hawaiian sweetbread at the Punalu'u Bake Shop. You also, on the big island of Hawaii, you get to visit the famous Kona Coffee Living History Farm and see how they make their coffee and how they harvest it, all that good stuff. And then over on Kauai, you get to visit the Kauai Coffee Plantation. And just some personal recommendations, if you get over to Maui, you can't go there without doing the road to Hana. If you do that on your day off, your day of leisure, I can't recommend that enough. You've got some shopping in Lahaina and beautiful Kaanapali. It's the most remarkable place. Hawaii is like a fairy tale to me. You're so far from home, you feel exotic, but yet you do have the convenience of feeling like you are at home because you still have, U.S. Currency. You don't need a passport, things like that. So if you have Hawaii on your list, look at this tour. It is incredible. Next up, we have cities of the Great East. So we're going all the way from the middle of the ocean over to the east coast of the US. But cities of the Great East, this is an 8-day tour from Boston to Washington, D.C. I was just telling my family, I want to do this with a tour guide because I have done all these cities self-guided and gone on and hung out on my own. But to have your tour director really bring these cities to life, what a unique opportunity because they are all steepled in history. Of course, Boston, the opportunity there with all the history there. I'm a big sports fan, so Fenway Park was a really big site for me to see. And then, of course, New York City and the towering skyscrapers and the hustle and bustle, your Broadway shows, of course, the 9/11 Memorial. So much to do in New York City. I could go on and on for hours just about that. Philadelphia, the Declaration of Independence and Liberty Bell and all they have to offer and what they had with our country's history. And then one of my absolute most favorite cities in all of the US, Washington, D.C. I love exploring the monuments, the museums. It really gives you a great appreciation for the country and where we have been and kind of where we are and where we could go, seeing the progress that we've made. But truly remarkable to see all that Washington, D.C. has to offer. And I like this one too, because it is really guided sightseeing is what you're doing in all these cities. So you're going to get an in-depth hands-on look from your tour director if you were to experience the cities of the Great East on this tour, and that's a Cosmos tour. Now with Heart of the Canadian Rockies, again, can we just pause to appreciate the beauty of this picture, this crystal lake, the beautiful Canadian Rockies, which are like double the size of the Colorado Rockies out west, US Rockies. So many cool opportunities as part of this tour. You can see here, you're going to start in beautiful Calgary and then stay 2 nights in Banff National Park. Visit Lake Louise and then Columbia Icefield, which is the largest ice field in Canada. This is remarkable to me, but it stretches miles and miles, but in parts, the ice is 750 feet deep. So you take in kind of an all-terrain vehicle out onto the ice field and you get to experience it for yourself. And then of course, Jasper National Park, working your way west, staying a night in Kamloops, and then ending in Vancouver. Now, let me tell you about another great opportunity you have staying with the Globus family of brands. In most cases, you are going to be staying, this would be more Globus, but potentially with Cosmos as well, and some of them, staying inside the national parks. So if you're booking this on your own, we have the buying power. We've got these hotels reserved years in advance. You're probably not likely to be able to have these experiences if this was something that you did on your own. You don't have to make the reservations. It's all taken care of. And who wouldn't want to stay in these famous national parks overnight? You're surrounded by the beauty and experience of a lifetime to stay inside the parks and actually get your beauty rest. So I wanted to mention that opportunity as well. Now, some experiences again as part of the Heart of Canadian Rockies tour. You've got really, this one is a Cosmos, so highlighted would be Banff National Park and Jasper National Park. Jasper is actually the biggest national park in Canada, so a cool opportunity to see that. Lake Louise and Banff are on my bucket list. I cannot wait to experience these firsthand because the pictures, if you look at it from Google or wherever you look at your pictures from, it's stunning. It really is absolutely breathtaking when you see these pictures, and I can't even imagine it in person. One of my personal favorites right here, exploring America's great parks. Take a moment to admire how much you get to see and experience as part of this tour. Now, this is a 15-day tour, so it is longer. It's round trip from Las Vegas, but look how filled it is, and look at the number of national parks that you get to visit on one trip. Can you imagine the logistics of trying to put this together by yourself and having yourself have to drive it and plan where to stay each night? We take all of the stress and the worry out of your vacation, all while you get to experience so much in one trip. So if you are somebody who has your hand raised right now and says, you know what, I have a huge interest in the national parks, look at this tour. It is amazing. So you can see starting out in Vegas, you're going to have your first night in Grand Canyon National Park. Truly amazing. Work your way up through Utah. You get to visit Moab and all the red rocks that Utah has to offer. Of course, Arches National Park, and then even into Colorado, where our company actually in the US is headquartered. So Colorado is a beautiful, beautiful state. And then north up through South Dakota, again, Mount Rushmore, Custer State Park, the Crazy Horse Memorial, working your way through Wyoming to, again, Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Park, and then back down through Utah, staying a night in Salt Lake City. Southwest Utah, you've got Bryce Canyon and Zion. Wow, I'm tired just talking about it, but if you want to see and experience the national parks, I can't recommend this tour enough. What an incredible opportunity. Again, you've just got to plan it. We take care of all the logistics. So you've just got to say, you know what, I want to go here. Your Carousel Travel Advisor would be more than happy to get you booked, and your vacation is all planned out. You don't need to give it any more thought until you head to the airport to experience the beauty of this tour. On that too, I wanted to go, sorry, I'm going to go back here, but in the Grand Canyon National Park and working your way, you'll see over there to Monument Valley, we have a local favorite. It's a 4-wheel drive through the Navajo backcountry. Now, your only way into this park is with a Navajo guide because they do still inhabit the land and it is considered sacred. So you're only allowed into Monument Valley with the escorting of a Navajo guide, but we take you through a 4-wheel drive. It's like a Jeep vehicle, and you get to experience the Navajo backcountry, a cool opportunity there. People love that, anybody who's done it. We also take you to a Navajo backcountry cookout. We've got a buffalo safari as well as a backcountry chuck wagon cookout too. So much to see and experience staying inside the parks as part of this Globus tour as well. This one is one that you do not want to miss. Now, I could talk about this destination forever, so if I get caught up on it, forgive me, but Alaska is one of my favorite places. If you have not been, you need to look at it right now. I'm not a big outdoors person, self-admittedly. That's not my forte or my big interest. But I went a few years ago to Alaska, and don't be me and try to think you can take Alaska on by yourself. And I'll put in a caveat that this was prior to me working in the role I do now. So I was doing it on my own. We stayed in Wasilla, which is just outside of Anchorage, and we had to drive everywhere. Alaska is so vast and expansive that it was not possible. For example, one night we drove up to Denali. It was a 3-hour drive one way. They only had one remaining tour that we could get on, and it departed at 7 p.m. and got back at 12 midnight. It was so cool too because it's midnight and it's clear as day, just light as can be. Well, then we had a 3-hour drive back to our place we were staying, and we got back there 3 in the morning. We had to be up at 7 a.m. to make another couple-hour drive south to Seward to take our cruise through the Kenai Fjords. It was insane. It really was. And I can't imagine the ease of doing it now with the Globus family brands. Look at the opportunities you have here. It's a 10-day round trip from Anchorage, and this is our best-selling Alaska tour. So you've got working your way up. You've got stops at Valdez, the Delta Junction, 2 nights in Fairbanks, and then from Fairbanks to Denali, you actually get to experience the world-famous Alaska Railroad and stay inside Denali Park for 2 nights and see the wildlife. It's remarkable to see a grizzly bear climbing the mountains, the lush vegetation there, and you just got a grizzly climbing up the mountains, or to see a herd of wolves just galloping through the Alaskan wilderness. It's breathtaking. And then working your way south again, a stop at Big Lake, finishing up in Anchorage, where you do have an opportunity in Seward as well to take a boat ride through the Kenai Fjords National Park. Now, some of the local favorites here, we do include an Alaskan fishing industry presentation. I went fishing in Alaska, and it was a really unique opportunity. There's also a naturalist presentation at Denali. So they bring that to life. It's not just you looking at animals and thinking it's really cool. They're telling you about the history of the park and about the flora and the fauna, truly putting a different spin on it. And then one of people's favorites experience that we include as part of this tour as well is a visit to our Happy Trails Kennels, which is where it's the home of Martin Buser, who is an Iditarod champion. Happy Trail Kennels, they have dogs and puppies as part of the Iditarod. So there's a mushing demonstration to show you how it's done. And then you also get to play and frolic with all of the puppies that they have there. A wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Everybody raves about that experience. So if Alaska's on your bucket list, I can't sing its praises enough. Certainly look at our best-selling tour on this spectacular Alaska. Now, one that I always wanted to do, and I'm guilty of this, I've always said I'm going to do it every fall. I have not gone and done it yet, but classic fall foliage. You can see round trip from Boston, 9 days. So work your way up the coast to Portland, and you get to visit and stay 2 nights in Acadia National Park, and then working your way over through New Hampshire, Vermont, even Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. So what a great opportunity that all these countries on the East, not countries, excuse me, states are smashed together on the East Coast. So it's a great opportunity to visit multiple states on one tour. And what I think is really unique about this tour is it's some of the lesser known areas as well. So it's not just the big hotspot tourist attractions, it's some of the smaller unique experiences as well. Now, of course, you can't go to the East Coast without taking in some of their wonderful food that they have to offer. So local favorites on this tour include enjoying a traditional lobster bake and an authentic popover pastry and seafood chowder, and also a colonial style dinner at the historic Public House. So if the East Coast has been something that you're wanting to experience, great way to do it, visiting multiple states all on one tour. I cannot wait to personally take this one myself. I love this tour. And then the last Canadian tour here too is Historic Cities of Eastern Canada. I've only done Toronto, but I fell in love with Toronto. I didn't do Niagara Falls, but Toronto, as you can see from this picture here, was stunning, I thought. I loved the sights, The people were so friendly, but it's really cool opportunity here too to work up into the province of Quebec and Quebec City and kind of get almost an Eastern or European feel, excuse me, without going to Europe. So you've got the element of French speaking and things like that. So a little different experience and a little more exotic. So if you're looking for something a little more different or non-traditional, this is a great opportunity to kind of experience a different side of Canada. But some locals that we include as part of this tour, again, 9 days from Toronto to Montreal, would be wine tasting at a Niagara on the Lake winery. You also, listen to this, I'm going to preface with this, this is a dessert, so it's not a real Canadian beaver tail, but they have a delicacy that they call a Canadian beaver tail, which is a it's fried dough, so it's a pastry, fried dough, shaped like a beaver tail, and then you can top it with a variety of toppings, so cinnamon, sugar, or Nutella, and strawberries, whatever it is. Really cool opportunity there. They love that up there. And then you also have a cool opportunity to visit a sugar shack and they show you how to make maple syrup. And you also get to have breakfast there. Sounds wonderful to me. But if Canada has been on your list, we have that for you as well. Now, these are just some newer undiscovered tours. So our undiscovered tours touch lesser known areas. So if this is something you want, avoiding some of the bigger crowds and things like that, take a look at these tours. This is a new one for us. It's Bourbon, Bridals, and Bluegrass. You can see here starting in Louisville, going through Kentucky down into Asheville, North Carolina, where you can see Great Smoky Mountain National Park, beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee, and then ending in one of my favorites as well, Nashville. But you can see just some ideas here. You can visit and experience some bourbon tasting down in Kentucky. If horses are your thing, this would be a great tour for you because we do take you to the Old Friends Thoroughbred Retirement Farm where you can visit with over 200 rescued and retired racehorses. And then we have a famous opportunity at the Antler Hill Village Restaurant, a farm to table lunch where the chef is going to come out and tell you about the food you are eating and experiencing as well. Now, moving to the different coast, here we've got Southern California Charms. This is a 10-day tour. So you can see this really is Southern California. So you go down into Yucca Valley. If relaxation and vineyards are your thing, you're in luck with this tour. You've got some local tasting at a vineyard in Temecula. And then San Diego's Old Town, which has some of the best authentic Mexican food I have ever had. We include a margarita tasting as well. Then you do work your way north and then to the coast, Santa Barbara, and then end back in Los Angeles. So keep that in mind if that's something. We have a wonderful Northern California's Finest tour. So if the Napa Valley area and Sonoma County of California is on your list, look at that tour. Reach out to your advisor with Carousel because that one's a great tour as well. I love that area. And then a little different experience here too is Lost Canyons of the Southwest, a 9-day tour. This is a great opportunity to have some railroads built into your tour. So you can see the Verde Canyon Railroad and then the Grand Canyon Railroad as well. Cool opportunity to experience the Southwest from a different perspective. This tour as well goes to the Navajo area. So you get to do that same local favorite 4-wheel drive guided with your Navajo guide that I was talking about before at Canyon de Chelly National Monument. So you've got that one. And then one of my favorite areas, I love, love, love this area, and I think is so underrated with the US, is exploring the Pacific Northwest. This is a 9-day tour starting in Seattle, working your way to ultimately ending in Portland. I love this area. In Crater Lake National Park, I'm stunned by its beauty. Google it. I had it in a presentation. I was like, what is this picture from? And it was Crater Lake National Park. You get to visit it, drive around the park, and experience the deep blue and the incredible beauty that the lake has to offer. And then working your way west to the coast of Oregon, Newport, Cape Mears, Tillamook, where the cheese is from, Tillamook cheese, one of my favorites. And then working up to Astoria, which this is such an underrated town. It's funny because my sister actually lived right across the border. She was in the Coast Guard for 8 years stationed in Long Beach, Washington, just across from Astoria. It's so beautiful. It's a historic town. and site of many famous movies. So the Goonies house is in Astoria. Free Willy, some of the scenes in the ocean were filmed there. Kindergarten Cop, the school was there. And then they have the Astoria Tower where you can climb up and you just overlook, you're on top of a hill overlooking the wonderful, wonderful views in the ocean that Astoria has to offer. It really is a remarkable town and I think underrated. And then of course, going into the big metropolis of Portland to finish off your tour. So look at this area, the country, it's underrated. It rains a lot, but light mist, and it creates some beautiful, beautiful greenery for those sites for you to take in. Now, hopefully we have interested you enough and you say, you know what, I'm going to reach out to my advisor with Carousel and I'm going to get this trip to book. So we do have an exclusive offer for those of you listening in today. Thank you so much for joining us. That if you do book and deposit any vacation for 2021 or 2022, it could be a Globus, Cosmos, Monograms, or Avalon Waterways vacation of 6 nights or more. We have an exclusive thank you and savings of $100 per person. Again, 2 weeks only, so you need to be booked and deposited by March 11th, 2021. And this is exclusive for you for attending. But if you want to take advantage, we would love to have you. And as a thank you, again, offer you some additional savings. Now, just some other promotions we have. I know this one is coming to a close here too, but I wanted to put it in case you were wanting to fit in a trip later this summer or later in the fall. We do have savings of 7.5% per person on select 2021 Globus. We have Europe, South, and North America vacations like we were just talking about today. Or if you're wanting to plan a little further out, we do have our early booking sale to save up to 10% on select 2022 Europe, North, and South America vacations. So reach out to your Carousel advisor. Again, they would be happy to share any promotions with you. And then also, because of their affiliations, your Carousel Travel Advisor has some exclusive amenities offered with us too. So if you're interested in learning about those exclusive offers that you wouldn't find from anybody else, reach out to your Carousel Advisor. They would be happy to provide more information for you. So that's going to do it for me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen quick and put my face back on because I know that Doug, the chat was going off, so I'm sure there's some questions and I'd love to answer them if there's anything that I can help with.
Thank you, Matt. Great ideas, great places to visit in our country, US and Canada as well.
Yeah.
As we all know, we just need to get that border opened up again, but I think that is coming. So hopefully those will all be options that can work for us. At this point, I don't have any chat questions that we haven't been able to answer.
Perfect.
So I think we're in kind of good shape there. If anyone still does have a question, we're on for another minute or so. So type it in there and let us know.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
can I just add something too, Doug? I wanted to say as well, if you're worried about, motor coach and the size of a tour, we have introduced small group discoveries as well. So they're on select dates for these North America tours, but they do have a maximum of only 28. And we still do use our regular size coaches. So if you are concerned, about wanting to travel with a smaller group, something like that, you can look at one of those small group options. There is a small supplement, so it's a little bit more, but not much. But if that appeals to you, keep that in mind.
And that's keeping the spacing in check as well, which is really nice. A nice feature that your company is offering. So
yes,
I think we don't have any other questions at this point. So I think we're good today. Matt, thank you so much for joining us, sharing information, and thank you to everyone who joined us online. If you have any questions, please reach out to us and let us know. We'd be love to talk with you, even if it's just talking at this point. No pressure to book anything, but we want to help you find those future dream opportunities and taking advantage of some travel as it opens up again.
Absolutely.
So thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Bye everybody.